Con cada paso hacia el futuro, la investigación en biomedicina y salud nos acerca a un mañana mejor. Un mañana en el que habrá diagnósticos más tempranos y precisos, tratamientos para enfermedades que hoy son incurables, soluciones que mejorarán la vida de millones de personas. Y en esa transición hacia el futuro, vuestros proyectos son protagonistas, porque darán respuesta a grandes desafíos, expandirán los límites de nuestro conocimiento y harán posible lo que ahora parece inalcanzable. Construyamos juntos el futuro de la salud.
Good evening, everyone. Boa tarde, buenas tardes. Es un honor darles la bienvenida a la Ceremonia CaixaResearch Health 2024. Este va a ser un evento bilingüe, dado que los investigadores que hoy homenajeamos pertenecen a centros de investigación en España y Portugal y también en otras partes de Europa y del mundo. Por ahora comenzaré en castellano. Later we will switch to English. Hoy reconocemos el talento y el esfuerzo de los investigadores e investigadoras detrás de los proyectos seleccionados en la convocatoria CaixaResearch de Investigación en Salud 2024. En sus más de 120 años, la Fundación La Caixa siempre ha tenido un firme compromiso con el conocimiento científico, el progreso y el bienestar social. Para hablarnos precisamente de este compromiso, vamos a escuchar ahora al director general adjunto de la Fundación, Juan Ramón Fuertes.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us this evening in Caixa Forum Madrid. É grande prazer hoje que lhes dou as boas-vindas à cerimónia do Caixa Health en 2024. Bienvenidos a Caixa Forum Madrid, donde celebramos, yo creo que es la palabra adecuada, esta ceremonia de entrega de los proyectos, de los premios a los proyectos de investigación y salud ganadores de esta edición de la convocatoria CaixaResearch Health. En primer lugar, sí que quiero tener un recuerdo para Valencia, para los familiares de las víctimas que allí han tenido y para todos aquellos que han sufrido esta tragedia. Quisiera, en nombre de todos, en nombre de la Fundación, enviarles todo nuestro afecto y nuestra colaboración, que ya está en marcha, y sobre todo subrayar que realmente ante hechos como estos la investigación es más necesaria que nunca. Yo creo que hay dos cosas especialmente a agradecer. Una primera, la asistencia de nuestro patrono, el doctor Santos Silva. Obrigado, Artur. Y también de nuestro presidente del Consejo Científico, don Javier Solana. Muchas gracias, Javier. El objetivo de esta convocatoria es era y será impulsar la investigación en biomedicina y salud mediante varios proyectos, pero básicamente de investigación básica, de investigación clínica y de investigación translacional, que como sabe bien nuestro director de programas es una de las partes que me apasiona desde un punto de vista personal, que tengan excelencia científica, pero también como fundación social que somos, que tenga impacto social. Todo ello se ha producido, y este año y hace unos momentos hablábamos con el doctor Santos Silva, con Artur, sobre el número de propuestas que se habían presentado. Se han presentado más de 580 propuestas, han sido seleccionadas 29 en estos 5 ámbitos que ustedes conocen muy bien, pero que recordaré, que es oncología, las enfermedades cardiovasculares, las tecnologías habilitadoras, neurociencias e enfermedades infecciosas. Esta convocatoria, como las anteriores, es muy competitiva. Y me consta que los proyectos presentados han sido de alto nivel. Estoy seguro que para los comités y los equipos evaluadores no ha sido nada fácil y así me lo confirmaban hace unos meses en una reunión que tuvimos con alguno de ellos y que comentaban el extraordinario nivel y la dificultad a la hora de hacer la valoración. Este año, al final, es importante hablar del presupuesto. Esta convocatoria está dotada con más de 25 millones de euros, 25,7 millones, y desde su creación se han invertido más de 145 millones de euros. No hace falta que les diga que en estos momentos es la convocatoria filantrópica de España y Portugal más importante. La convocatoria más importante justamente porque tiene esta dimensión ibérica, que yo creo que es una de las características más singulares. En España y en Portugal yo creo que trabajar en esta vía de colaboración nos genera estas interacciones científicas tan significativas y tan importantes. Pero para ello necesitamos la colaboración de unos parceiros, unos socios, que en este caso es la colaboración del gobierno portugués a través de la Fundación de la Ciencia y la Tecnología, que contribuye generosamente a la convocatoria. Aprovecho ahora que la veo aquí para agradecer a su presidenta, Madalena Alves, su inestimable colaboración. Muito obrigado. Y yo creo que además estas colaboraciones, y lo anticipábamos un poco, van más allá de los dos países, van más allá de España y Portugal. De hecho, de los 29 proyectos aprobados, hay 24 en consorcio, que la mayoría de los que están aquí lo conocen bien. Estos proyectos en consorcio cuentan con la colaboración de grupos de investigación de varios países de todo el mundo, de Países Bajos, de Australia, de Alemania, de Singapur, de Italia y de Israel. Lo he querido leer para no dejarme ninguno de ellos. Además, contamos de una forma especial con la complicidad y el apoyo de la Fundación Luzón, que apoya un proyecto de investigación de la ELA. Y muchas gracias, María José Arregui, por todo vuestro apoyo como presidenta de la Fundación Luzón. Y antes de llegar al final de mi intervención, sí que quiero contarles algunas novedades de cara al futuro en nuestro apoyo a la investigación en biomedicina y en salud, del que en Fundación La Caixa estamos especialmente orgullosos. Hemos lanzado una nueva línea de actuación para reforzar, apoyar la investigación en enfermedades minoritarias pediátricas. Hace unos minutos estábamos hablando precisamente de esto. Las enfermedades minoritarias son un desafío tanto médico como social. Aunque es verdad que son enfermedades poco frecuentes, cuando las ponemos en su conjunto afectan a millones de personas. De hecho, en una organización como la Fundación La Caixa nos gusta saber contar el impacto que puede tener. En España son más de 3 millones de personas que padecen alguna de estas enfermedades, que en el 80% de los casos se manifiestan, utilizando su lenguaje, debutan en la infancia y de una manera muy sorpresiva. La mayoría de ellas, muchas de ellas son crónicas. Para nosotros, para Fundación La Caixa, es un reto que el 95% aún carezca de tratamiento y, por lo tanto, en una llamada a la acción para contribuir a la solución de este reto, desde la Fundación La Caixa hemos establecido una colaboración estratégica con el Hospital de Sant Joan de Déu, que tenemos por aquí alguno de sus representantes, aquí, te he visto antes, de sus representantes. Sant Joan de Déu es uno de los centros que atiende más niños y niñas con enfermedades minoritarias, no tan solo en España, sino en Europa, y que coordina un proyecto extraordinariamente ilusionante que le han puesto el nombre de Únicas. Este es un ecosistema de trabajo en red en el que participan 30 hospitales españoles, y que nuestra aportación y nuestra colaboración se concreta ya con una aportación de 2,5 millones al año para el apoyo en este trabajo. Además de todo esto, vamos a reforzar nuestro apoyo a la investigación en este campo a través de esta convocatoria, ampliando su dotación para dar cabida a proyectos de enfermedades raras pediátricas en las 5 áreas que he mencionado anteriormente, y que esto será alrededor de unos 5 millones de euros, seleccionando más proyectos de este ámbito y aportando más fondos cuando sea necesario. En esta convocatoria, en la que hoy estamos celebrando, ya hemos llevado a cabo un piloto apoyando un proyecto adicional a los inicialmente seleccionados. Se trata del proyecto de retinitis pigmentosa de los doctores Pia Cosma y Ricardo Pires. Es verdad que queda mucho por hacer en este ámbito, pero con estas iniciativas lo que hemos querido es contribuir de una manera firme, clara y concreta en la esperanza de lograr diagnósticos más rápidos y tratamientos mucho más eficaces de los que tenemos hasta ahora, con un claro objetivo que todos ustedes estoy seguro que comparten, que es mejorar la calidad de vida de los pacientes y de sus familias. También quiero contarles, porque además tenemos la participación de su Managing Director, que es nuestro proyecto de investigación CaixaResearch Institute, que es el proyecto de construcción del centro de investigación en Barcelona, donde vamos a tener más de 20.000 metros cuadrados dedicados a este proyecto y en el que trabajarán más de 500 personas en él. Está previsto, por lo menos es el objetivo que tiene nuestro director que nos acompaña hoy, que en su primera fase se ponga en marcha en 2025. Les invito a todos, no para ponerle presión al director, les invito a todos a finales de 2025 a que vengan a la inauguración, que estoy seguro que será en esa fecha. Pero no olvidemos que hoy los protagonistas sois los ganadores de la convocatoria 2024. Quiero agradecer que además nos acompañan algunos de los rectores de las universidades y también algunos de los directores de los centros de investigación, así como algunos ganadores de las convocatorias anteriores que han querido acompañarnos, y también algunos de los postdoctorados que estamos becando a través del área de educación y becas que dirige Emilia, que está hoy con nosotros. Muchas gracias por la idea. A todos ustedes, muchísimas gracias por venir a esta ceremonia, y creo que lo que pretende es ser algo más que un reconocimiento tan solo a los proyectos ganadores durante el año pasado, sino que queremos que esta sea una ocasión para conectar entre vosotros, para fomentar esas posibles sinergias, colaboraciones, ideas, amistades, de todo aquello que nos une a los que estamos aquí presentes, que es construir el futuro de la salud. Como dice el lema de la Caixa, solo es progreso si progresamos todos, y yo creo que en este ámbito lo estamos consiguiendo. Muchísimas gracias y enhorabuena a todos los premiados.
Muchas gracias. Thank you, Mr. Fuertes. Now we are honored to welcome Dr. Antonio Vidal Puig, renowned authority on metabolism and obesity, to deliver the keynote address. He has led pivotal research in understanding the molecular pathways of metabolic diseases, helping to redefine how we address obesity, diabetes, and metabolic health on a global scale. Dr. Vidal Puig is Professor of Molecular Nutrition and Metabolism at Cambridge University and Principal Investigator at the Obesity and Metabolic Regulation Unit at the Príncipe Felipe Research Center Foundation. He trained in medicine at the University of Valencia, specialized in endocrinology at the University of Granada, and refined his expertise at Harvard Medical School before founding his lab at Cambridge in the year 2000. His influence spans roles at the Wellcome Sanger Institute, at the National University of Singapore, and at Cambridge Nanjing Center for Technology in China. Earlier this year, his publication in Nature sparked vital discussions about the value of basic research, showing how Cambridge's Laboratory of Molecular Biology blends fundamental science with advanced technology to drive innovation and push scientific boundaries. In this keynote, Dr. Vidal Puig will offer us his unique perspective on the future trajectory of global biomedical research. Welcome.
So, thank you for the invitation to deliver this speech to the community. When I was approached by the Caixa to do that, well, I accepted this as an opportunity to really introduce myself to this community. But this occurred at the same time that this event in Valencia struck us. And that gave me the opportunity to reflect on the relationship between science and the social responsibility. I can understand that nature is very powerful. Sometimes nature gets out of control. And if we are not alert, things happen. However, I think we have the obligation of trying to mitigate and decrease the impact of this. And this is where I think science, knowledge, and professionalism is very important. And from this point of view, even though our role is to identify new things, learn new things, and find out about new things, I think we have also the obligation to increase the trust in scientific insight by the population. They need to trust us. They need to trust the knowledge, go with this type of fake news or whatever. And also we need to make sure that people value the professionalism and the competency. So if you do this, we are in good shape. So my talk today was supposed to be about embracing science transformative power. Here we are honoring the dedication, the knowledge, and the creativity of the investigators. And as I said, science is a tool to uncover the unknown. But on top of this, science for many of us, many of the scientists, is also a journey. It's a linear process in which we are evolving. And in this way, I think that science is not simply about personal success. It's not about being the big shot. It's not about fueling our, I would say, our narcissism. So science is something else. Science is, we get the benefit from science. We can address our curiosity, but also requires perseverance. We are going to fail many times. We need to learn from this failure. And then we need to be resilient. But there is something else about science that people need to be aware of, is science is not only about doing experiments and getting results and publishing papers. We need to think about what we do, what is important, what is not important, what should prioritize. And this is very, very creative. At the same time, we need to make sure that we challenge the assumptions or the biases. And this is some kind of transferable skills that we can take from science to society. Also, the investigators need to be optimistic and be a bit naive, because we need to believe that what we do is going to be so important that we are going to transform reality and give opportunities. So with this type of naivety, we can really engage in doing something which is unthinkable. So I've been asked to talk about what we learned from the Laboratory of Molecular Biology, the paradigm of the success. And I want to share with you 4 things that we think I learned from this. Number 1 is scientific progress is about risk. If you don't take risk, you will never make the progress in science, or you will never obtain the value that science can give you. However, in order to be able to embrace risk, the investigators need to have confidence. They are going in uncertain territories. Sometimes you have partial information, and you don't know if this is the right pathway. So you need to be convinced that you are going to go this path. Second, you need to have the right environment where taking this risk is safe, where you have the time to be able to troubleshoot and go around this. You need to have enough resources to be able to accomplish what you want, and you want to be surrounded by people who are smarter than you are, so that if you have a problem, you have someone to talk to. And also, the risk is mitigated by generosity. You have people who are mentors, relatively older, who have been there before, and they can make sure that when you doubt about if this path, which seems that nobody has been following before, when you doubt about this, someone else will say, go for this, be confident, you can do that. Second, you need to have institutions and funders that support that, because without this, you cannot really take risks. And third, you need your peers. If your peers can't tell you when you are going in the wrong direction or can identify your flaws, you need to be able to talk to them because they can save your time. The second aspect I want to emphasize is technology. When you are trying to take risks, your allies are technology. At this present moment, when you compare 20 years ago when we got a paper because we cloned a gene or whatever, to the actual moment where technology has exploited, now is not even in the academic places. They have left and is going to all these startups, and we can see in our eyes how the technology that we invested before now is delivering something, and we are curing people and we are taking advantage. This is very important, okay? So technology is a catalyst for science audacity. Because you have the technology, you can take more risks, and you can go where before you will never get the money to go. And then you can go from, technology also allows to expand the landscape of what is feasible. So it's a very important message. And second, you can take what is like innovation, you can take into implementation. So innovation, technology is very important. And the LMB, the technology was what enabled them to discover the DNA, the antibodies, and so on. The third aspect relates to incentives. So you can have a vision, where you may want to go, sometimes. You may want to have some values, which means this is how you are going to get there, the things that you are going to maintain as your point of references when you make decisions. And then you have your strategy to get there. The most easy way of derailing this is when your vision and your values do not match what you are doing, when your strategy is not matching this. The people following you will stop following you. The engagement will disappear, and you are done. So for this, the key word that I want you to remember is incentives. And innovation requires an ecosystem. You have mentioned ecosystem before. I like the ecosystem concept. It's an ecosystem of collective achievements. And we are talking about collective intelligence. I'm not a communist. I'm talking about the collective thing. And in some way, what you are trying to do is to get all these different people with all these different skills, with all the different insights, to work together to accomplish something that is important. And for this, you need to have incentives. Incentives for collaborations and something that scientists need, share credit. You need to provide credit wherever it is. If you get this, the scientists will take risks. Then you will get people to share their knowledge. They will not keep it in silos. And then they will support each other, and you will get something that no one individually will be able to achieve. The thing I want to talk is about this one, purpose and resilience. How many times have you heard telling people, the scientists, you need to be resilient? It seems that our success depends on this. You can do mindfulness, you can do exercise, you can take whatever. But for me, the link with resilience is meaning. So the best way for you to be resilient and revamp and recover and continue going on and on and on is if what you are doing has a meaning for you. And my problem with this is that when you talk to younger generations, what you see is that it's very difficult to have a meaning when you are in survival mode. When you get the job that you can, you do whatever it is offered to you, and you don't even care about what you're doing, but you're trying to survive. And this is the moment where probably more senior people who are more stabilized, who have a different perception about life, and where they see meaning as fundamental, but they also can afford it, they can contribute to empower these individuals to do what they want to do in a way that they really are engaged. And this is the best recipe for these individuals to really be resilient. So this picture, I like it because you see far away. Everything I have said now is inside your institution at the individual level. And then once you have your risk, when you have your technology, when you have all your incentives, you cannot look only at your little kingdom where you try to be the king. You need to look outside. At a moment where geopolitics is preventing communication and we are getting more fragmented and it's more difficult to communicate, scientists are very unique because we all speak the same language, here, in Asia, in North America, wherever. And I will encourage you to defy the geopolitics to maintain your contacts and your colleagues because you care about the same thing, which is knowledge and service to your societies. And if you do this, when the moment will change, because we cannot afford not to talk, the scientists will be the easy way to reactivate the zombie. So you can see that. And I think we have a very important role. We can be ambassadors to maintain the globalization and the communication. And we want to know if something really important happens somewhere else. And we will not do that for the sake of other forces. So this is my last slide. There are two pictures there. On the left side is the present, and I want to insist in diversity and inclusion. You can think about this because you have a Kantian ontological, ethical thing about values, and this is what you want to do. But you can be an utilitarian, and then you say, well, this is, but I can tell you, this combination you have there is the best combination you have to be successful. They bring different experience, different knowledge, different times. You have different races, different sexual orientations, and there is some guy who is an old guy, who probably will have something to say about the past and the future. If you look to the right side, you have the future, and there are two things I want to bring to this point. One of them is that we are having a very serious problems of the demographics. We are going to need as many talented individuals as we can. So through the inclusion, we need to get everyone who is around able to contribute anything. But we need to also invest in the other generation, that is the new one, and then need to be well-educated, well-trained, and well-developed at every level. They are in a unique position because in the future there will be so many needs that they can choose whatever they want and have a meaningful job. But we need to be able to make sure that these people do what they are supposed to do. And at the same time, we will be fighting for talent. The fight is in the talent. It's not enough. And the big superpowers will try to attract the talent. But we need to raise our own, and we become attractive to attract them to Spain. So this is I will say, the two aspects of this. So we need to be able to educate them. I don't know if I had time to share something with you. I mean, my son is now 20 years old, he's at the university and so on. 4 years ago, he was 16, and he was at the beginning of the pandemic trying to figure out what he was going to do with his life. At that time, we started the pandemic, and I asked him, what do you want to do when to go to the university? And he said, I want to be an influencer. And then I thought, shit, I mean, we are in good. I thought that was complicated. But anyway, the most positive thing about this pandemic was that we shared time, because we were cohabitating, and the guy could see firsthand science, medicine, professionals, how they got us out of the problem. And then 4 years later, he's embracing science and medicine, and he's doing well. When you have seen Valencia, you have seen very young individuals crossing the river, going to take this, and that was very impressive, and I think that gives us hope. But for me, what I hope will happen is that some of them will realize that science and knowledge and preparation is really important, because maybe one day we can prevent that from happening, or we can do something very active. And I think now is the best moment where the younger generation need to be educated, to be able to obtain all the knowledge for the future and keep growing forever. I'm going to finish this by saying thanks to the Caixa and other organizations that contribute to that. You are supporting the scientists to accomplish the risk. You are familiar with the technology. Now you want to have ecosystems, which I think is really brilliant. Ideologically, you support the incentives that we bring in here, and you are very important to support that. With respect to my colleagues here, this is very inspirational because you represent the knowledge and the talent, and you could really have a major impact not only in the science but everything else. And more importantly, I think through these new ventures and others, I hope that we will be able to work together in a way that will be, from our position, to try to increase the trust in science and in knowledge and preparation, because this is, for me, the most important thing that we are missing at this present moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vidal-Puig, for this insightful talk. Your perspective truly sets the tone for the work we are here to celebrate today. Well, now we will watch a very brief video showcasing the work of La Caixa Foundation, supporting research in biomedicine and health.
For the last 120 years, La Caixa Foundation has been devoted to improving human health for the benefit of society. A lot has changed since our beginnings, but we have always known that the path to health is paved with science. Today, our commitment to scientific research spreads across 4 main pillars. Our 2 funding calls for excellent research and innovation projects in Spain and Portugal, the CaixaResearch Health Call and the Caixa Impulse Innovation Call. Backing of strategic research and innovation projects with high impact and transformative potential. Structural long-term support to biomedicine and health research centers. And our very own research center specializing in immunology, the Caixa Research Institute, which is slated for opening in 2025 and aims to house 500 leading researchers from around the world. Today, we are here to recognize the work of the researchers selected in the latest edition of the CaixaResearch Health Call, our flagship research program, which started in 2018 and has already given support to 200 cutting-edge research projects in biomedicine and health, including yours. Our goal with this call is to find and boost the best biomedical science, and since it started, the program has provided more than 145 million euros in support for projects in 5 thematic areas, covering basic, clinical, and translational research. But our backing is meaningless without your ideas. It is thanks to your talent that the Health Call can expand knowledge and bring life-changing solutions to clinicians and patients around the world. Together, we are paving the way for the future of health.
Well, now it's time to present the awards of the CaixaResearch Health Call 2024. To start, I'd like to invite on stage the people who will hand over the awards in the category of infectious diseases. Artur Santos Silva, member of the Board of Trustees of La Caixa Foundation and honorary president of BPI. Madalena Alves, president of Fundação para a Ciência e a Tecnologia em Portugal. And José Pena do Amaral, membro da Comissão de Responsabilidade Social do BPI. We begin with the infectious diseases category. The impact of infectious diseases on global health is, as you know, enormous. Malaria alone resulted in 247 million cases and 619,000 deaths in 2021. Diseases that we thought were almost eradicated are once again a reality, and without urgent action, antibiotic resistance could lead to more than 10 million deaths annually by 2050. The projects we are about to recognize address these pressing issues with innovative approaches that aim to reduce the burden of infectious diseases and create a safer future for everyone. Now let us meet the 7 selected projects in this category.
Malaria remains widespread in tropical regions, affecting mainly children and pregnant women. The Plasmodium parasite, which causes this disease, develops resistance even against modern drugs, so new treatments are needed. This project will use the parasite's biology against it by seeking drugs that selectively block proteins involved in redox balance, an essential metabolic process of Plasmodium's life cycle. The aim is to develop safer and more effective treatments.
The award is collected by Dr. Ruth Perez, Dr. Gonzalo Jiménez, and Dr. Jude Prisborski.
Although effective, current tuberculosis treatments are complex, making it challenging, especially in low-income countries, to treat patients and contributing to the rise of antimicrobial resistance. This project aims to develop new drugs by studying how the tuberculosis bacterium adapts to its host, with the goal of shortening treatment duration and improving outcomes.
The award is collected by Dr. Tiago Beites and Dr. Robert Jansen.
Trypanosoma brucei, a parasite transmitted by tsetse flies, causes sleeping sickness, a lethal disease where the parasite hides in tissues, complicating its diagnosis and treatment. This project seeks to identify the genes that allow the parasite to invade blood vessels and establish reservoirs, paving the way for new treatments for sleeping sickness and other pathologies that rely on similar mechanisms like metastasis or inflammation.
On behalf of Dr. Luisa Figueiredo, the award is collected by Dr. Claudio Franco.
Treating malaria is challenging because the Plasmodium parasite quickly develops drug resistance. A promising new approach is to target aggregates of proteins which have been shown to be crucial for the parasite's survival. This project aims to unravel the mechanism of a newly developed drug that binds to such protein aggregates and does not lead to the parasite's resistance easily, paving the way for next-generation antimalarials.
The award is collected by Dr. Xavier Fernández Busquets and Dr. Diego Muñoz Torrero.
Aspergillosis is a fungal infection which primarily affects people with existing conditions or weakened immune systems. Over 2 million people contract it annually, and most of these patients die due to resistance to current antifungal treatments. This project seeks genetic variations that control immunity to this fungus and molecular mechanisms that increase susceptibility to identify biomarkers that predict infection risk and guide personalized treatments.
The award is collected by Dr. Agostinho Carballo, Dr. Coral Barbas, and Dr. Vinod Kumar Magadi Gopalaya.
Malaria and tuberculosis are two infections that continue to place a heavy burden on the world despite existing vaccines. To develop more effective strategies, better understanding of the immune system's response to these pathogens is needed. This project aims to study gamma-delta T cells, a key but understudied group of immune cells, to identify new therapeutic targets and develop innovative immunotherapies for these diseases.
On behalf of Dr. Bruno Silva Santos, the award is collected by Mr. Daniel Pereira Ignacio.
Infectious and inflammatory diseases are increasing globally, often caused by overactive T lymphocytes, which can lead to conditions like fibrosis and asthma. To avoid this, broad-spectrum immunosuppressive drugs are administered, with significant side effects and increased risk of infection. This project aims to validate a newly discovered factor in T lymphocyte activation as a therapeutic target to develop drugs that modulate immune responses without compromising overall protection.
The award is collected by Dr. Mark Belhuen. This is the end of this category. Thank you, Artur Santos Silva, Madalena Alves, and José Pena do Amaral. Thank you very much for being here. We now move on to the neurosciences category. To present the awards in this category, please welcome to the stage Javier Solana, President of La Caixa Foundation Scientific Committee, and Ignacio López, Director of Partnerships with Research and Health Institutions. Over 600 neurological and mental health disorders impact more than 1 billion people worldwide. These conditions profoundly affect the mind, memory, movement, and perception, qualities central to our identity. The following projects represent pioneering research seeking to decode these complex conditions and improve the lives of those affected. Let us now discover the 5 selected projects in this field.
Adrenoleukodystrophy is a rare genetic disorder that primarily affects boys, causing severe myelin damage. The most aggressive and fatal form impacts children aged 5 to 10, but is still poorly understood. This project aims to uncover the disease's molecular mechanisms, identify biomarkers for early diagnosis, and pave the way for future treatments.
The award is collected by Dr. Aurora Pujol and Dr. Antonella Consiglio.
Errors in mitochondrial DNA replication are linked to neurodegenerative diseases like mitochondrial encephalopathies, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's. Despite its crucial role, this process remains poorly understood. This project aims to explore the mechanisms behind mitochondrial DNA replication errors to understand how these errors contribute to disease and to inform the development of new therapeutic approaches.
The award is collected by Dr. Rafael Fernández Leiro and Dr. Cristina Ugalde.
Cerebral arteriovenous malformations cause hemorrhagic strokes in children, and current treatments use embolic fluids to close abnormal vessels. Recently, it has been discovered that certain oncogenes involved in tumor proliferation are mutated in these vessels. Using nanotechnology, this project seeks to enhance embolic fluid, combining it with oncogene inhibitors to induce the death of these abnormal blood vessels without damaging healthy tissue for safer and more effective treatments.
The award is collected by Dr. Marc Ribó, Dr. Víctor Franco, Dr. Fernanda Andrade, and Dr. Laura Ludovica Gramegna.
Machado-Joseph disease is a rare neurodegenerative disorder triggered by aggregation of a protein in neurons. It causes gradual loss of autonomy and severe motor impairments with no effective treatment available yet. This project aims to develop a treatment that prevents the aggregation of these proteins to slow the onset and progression of the disease.
The award is collected by Dr. Patricia Maciel and Dr. Fernanda Borges.
Retinitis pigmentosa is a rare degenerative disease which can lead to blindness by damaging the eye's photoreceptors with no cure in advanced stages. By developing a synthetic retina that connects with the remaining functional retina and testing it in mouse models, this project aims to pave the way for clinical trials to restore vision in humans.
The award is collected by Dr. Pia Cosma and Ricardo Pires. Let's continue now with our next category, is cardiology and associated metabolic diseases. Cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of death globally, responsible for more than 4 million deaths in Europe each year. Associated metabolic diseases such as diabetes and obesity-related liver conditions also pose significant health challenges. Fortunately, mortality rates from these complications have decreased by 63% in recent decades, thanks to improvements in prevention, diagnosis, and treatment of these conditions. The projects we will now present continue this essential work, offering new insights and solutions to further reduce these numbers. Let's meet the 5 selected projects in this category.
Organ transplants save lives and are the last possible treatment for a significant percentage of diseases. However, there is a shortage of organs available for transplantation, and alternatives are needed. This project seeks to understand and improve the potential of human stem cells for creating functional organs in animal hosts to address the organ shortage.
The award is collected by Dr. Xavier Aranguren, Dr. Francisco Alberto García, and Dr. Graziano Martello.
Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune chronic disease characterized by the destruction of insulin-producing pancreatic beta cells, leading to serious health complications. This project explores how inflammation and genetic predisposition affect beta cells' function, aiming to develop stress-resistant beta cells from pluripotent stem cells to enhance regenerative treatments for diabetes.
The award is collected by Dr. Lorenzo Pasquali.
Cardiovascular diseases, often caused by metabolic dysfunction in the heart, are the leading cause of death worldwide, with most fatalities resulting from heart attacks and strokes. This project explores how modulating a key protein in heart metabolism could protect against cardiac damage, aiming to develop a new therapeutic strategy for heart disease.
The award is collected by Dr. Guadalupe Savio and Dr. María José Alonso.
Children with SAVI, a rare autoinflammatory vasculopathy, have mutations in 2 genes. Mutations in genes regulating stress responses are correlated with autoimmune diseases, but the molecular mechanisms are not well understood. This project will use capillary blood vessel organoids to understand how mutations in SAVI patients amplify autoimmune responses and disease onset.
The award is collected by Dr. Philippe Pierre.
Obesity is linked to a rise in liver diseases such as fatty liver disease associated with metabolic dysfunction, which can progress to severe conditions like hepatocellular carcinoma. However, the mechanisms that underlie this progression remain unclear. This project will identify biomarkers for early detection of at-risk patients and will explore new therapeutic strategies to prevent and ameliorate hepatic metabolic problems.
The award is collected by Dr. Antonio Vidal Puig and Dr. Manuel Romero. Now we're going to continue with the next category. Thank you, Javier Solana, for being with us here on the stage. We move now to the oncology category. To present these awards, please welcome back Deputy General Manager of La Caixa Foundation, Juan Ramón Fuertes. Cancer remains one of the most urgent health issues today, with over 19 million new cases and nearly 10 million deaths worldwide in 2021 alone. With the global population aging, these numbers are expected to rise. The projects in this category bring new perspectives to understand cancer better and develop strategies to combat it effectively. Let's meet the 6 selected projects in this field.
Most colorectal cancer patients have a tumor located in the colon, which can be surgically removed. However, as tumor cells hide and migrate to other organs, such as liver or lungs, 1/3 of these patients experience recurrence and metastasis. This project will use a mouse model of human colorectal cancer to study how metastatic cells change when they migrate, aiming to develop therapies that prevent metastasis.
The award is collected by Dr. Eduard Batlle.
Treatments like chemo and radiotherapy work by damaging tumor DNA, but cancer cells often repair this damage, building resistance. In hepatocellular carcinoma, an RNA molecule has been found to boost DNA repair, aiding tumor cell survival. This project aims to identify similar RNA molecules to study how they work, paving the way for new therapies that block DNA repair in tumor cells and thus lead to their death.
The award is collected by Dr. Puri Fortes, Dr. Oscar Llorca, and Dr. Fernando Moreno.
In the cell nucleus, DNA molecules are packaged into complex structures, and occasionally they become tangled, a process that is resolved by topoisomerase enzymes. Tumor cells likely face more DNA tangling issues than usual due to their rapid growth. This project will explore how DNA topological problems could be used to develop new diagnostic tools and therapies by targeting topoisomerases to slow down tumor growth.
The award is collected by Dr. Felipe Cortés.
CAR T therapies use the patient's own genetically modified immune cells against tumor cells, with promising results in various blood cancers. However, patients can stop responding due to tumor resistance and CAR T cell decline, especially in multiple myeloma. This project will uncover the mechanisms behind these issues using advanced machine learning and single-cell technologies to improve CAR T treatment effectiveness in multiple myeloma.
The award is collected by Dr. Felipe Prosper, Dr. Juan Roberto Rodríguez, and Dr. Nir Yosef.
Breast cancer is the most common tumor in women, and most deaths are caused by metastases that can appear years after the initial diagnosis in distal organs. This project aims to map the microenvironment and understand the mechanisms that allow dormant breast cancer cells to metastasize, focusing on commonly affected organs, liver and bone. It will pave the way for new drugs that could prevent metastasis formation.
The award is collected by Dr. Ana Luisa Correia.
Breast cancer mortality is mainly due to metastases, often originating from metastatic tumors in the bone. Tumor cells adapt to new environments and evolve into metastasis using a mechanism called plasticity. By identifying the factors that give metastatic cells this plasticity, this project aims to find ways to block or slow down secondary metastasis development.
The award is collected by Dr. Roger Gomis. Well, finally, we move to the Enabling Technologies category, which recognizes projects that leverage technological innovations to advance health research and improve diagnostics and treatments. Biomedical research is experiencing a huge leap in recent years, propelled by the development of novel technologies and the ability to generate and process an increasing volume of data. The selected projects in this category are applying innovative approaches to improve treatments, make them more accessible, and address current challenges with practical solutions for the future. Let's learn more about these 6 selected projects.
Diagnosis of neurodegenerative diseases usually comes late because current diagnostic approaches rely on symptoms like cognitive decline. These symptoms appear after tau protein degradation and accumulation in the brain. This project will develop a tool that uses fluorescent markers to detect and differentiate abnormal tau proteins, facilitating an earlier, more accurate diagnosis to slow the disease progression.
The award is collected by Dr. Ana Pina, Dr. Mohit Kumar, and Dr. Luis Alves.
CAR T-cell therapies offer precise treatment for blood cancers, but their widespread use is limited by the complex and costly process of modifying a patient's T-cells outside the body. This project proposes a new strategy using viral vectors to generate CAR T-cells directly in the body, improving safety and precision while reducing costs to make these therapies more accessible.
On behalf of Dr. Marc Güell, the award is collected by Cristina Rius.
For a long time, it was believed that tumor progression depended solely on cancer cells. But now we know that mechanical and chemical interactions with their environment also play a crucial role. This project will develop a microphysiological system and its digital twin to replicate and study the tumor ecosystem and evaluate new immunotherapies for colorectal cancer.
The award is collected by Dr. Xavier Trepat and Dr. Eduard Batlle.
Despite advances in immunotherapy, many patients with pulmonary metastasis fail to respond to current treatments, largely because metastatic cells develop resistance. This project explores a bacteria-based therapy that targets tumor cells with immunogenic proteins, aiming to enhance the anti-tumor response in the lungs and reduce side effects in the rest of the body.
The award is collected by Dr. Luis Serrano.
Pancreatic cancer is highly aggressive, with poor survival rates due to late diagnosis, resistance to treatment, and an immunosuppressive microenvironment. By studying how tumor tissue interacts with immune cells, researchers aim to develop targeted nanoimmunotherapies that enhance the immune response and prevent future metastasis.
The award is collected by Dr. Maria Vicent, Dr. Elena Florindo, and Dr. Ronitsachi Fainaro. And now for the final project, we welcome first onto the stage Maria Jose Arregui, president of the Luzon Foundation, who kindly co-founded this project to advance research on amyotrophic lateral sclerosis.
Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is an incurable and fatal neurodegenerative disease. Hereditary forms of the disease, caused by mutations in the SOD1 protein, lead to extremely variable survival rates, so it is essential to understand how each mutation contributes to the disease. This project will map SOD1 mutations to identify their effects, aiming to improve early diagnosis and develop targeted therapies for patients with ALS.
On behalf of Dr. Benedetta Bolognesi, the award is collected by Tomás Quiroga and Josep Samitier. Well, congratulations to you all. We look forward to the results of these promising projects. Thank you, Juan Ramón Fuertes. Thank you very much, Ignacio López and María José Arregui, for being here with us on the stage. Thank you very much. Well, before we come to the end of this year's CaixaResearch Health Call Awards, I'm pleased to invite Dr. Ana Pina to the stage to share her thoughts as a recipient of the CaixaResearch Health Call and in name of all these year's awardees. Dr. Pina is a distinguished researcher at the Instituto de Tecnología Química y Biológica Antonio Xavier at the Universidade Nova de Lisboa, specializing in bioinspired peptide systems and neurodegenerative disease diagnostics. She brings over 15 years of experience in peptide engineering and phase separation processes, with a particular focus on patient-centered innovation. Dr. Pina has also been recognized with the Caixa Impulse Health Innovation Grant. Dr. Pina, the stage is yours.
Okay, good evening. So, first of all, I would like to compliment everyone present here, of course, in particular, the representatives of La Caixa Foundation, the president, Antonio Bertrand, the director, Juan Fuertes, the president of BPI Bank, Dr. Artur Santos Silva, José Pena do Amaral, and also the president of Foundation for Science and Technology, Dr. Madalena Alves, and Ignacio Lopes, also for the invitation, and also the president for Fundación Luzon, Maria José Auregi, and also, of course, all the awardees and all the audience. So I would like to start by sharing that I'm very aware of my privilege up here tonight to receive these awards and to belong to this ecosystem. I'm very honored to speak on behalf of the awardees of CaixaResearch Health 2024. So I believe that this recognition is not just for as individuals, so it represents a significant step towards transformative science, and that aims to provide new solutions for patients in our society. So patients that are suffering from diseases like neurological diseases, cancer-based diseases, cardiovascular infection diseases. So all key areas that La Caixa Foundation is supporting. So our project, it was one of the ones selected from emerging technologies. So as you just saw it, so we want to develop a diagnostic tool to detect and differentiate it between neurological diseases. And so we are creating tiny compartments based on peptide systems that allow us to detect and differentiate these type of diseases. So I think the importance of our work and also all over these is clear. So these diseases, like those mentioned before, are expected to affect hundreds of millions of people around the world, impacting not just those that are suffering from them, but also their families and their friends. So as a scientist, we believe that we have the responsibility to think creatively and work together to find solutions that can improve the quality of life for the society. And here the support from La Caixa Foundation is clear. In fact, is crucial for us and feels like a breath of fresh air. For our researchers, of course, but especially for young researchers, as early career researchers like me. It also addressed the challenge for young researchers to gain interest by offering substance support and recognition. This award is also an initiative to empower promising researchers to pursue innovative ideas to their fields and also potentially improve people's life. So this project, in our case, PepCycle, marks a turning point in my career and that of my team, Mohit and Luisa. And we believe that with La Caixa Foundation support, we can advance from basic research to apply this research and even go further by develop clinical studies and that involve patients. So we are super excited about the potential for new technologies that will emerge from our work. So I also want to express my gratitude for La Caixa Impulse Award that I received last year. So we were very thrilled with these awards that also support translation science from fundamental science that we have been developed for the past years. So in our particular case, we are developing the next generation of biobatteries that are based on peptide systems that could be used for healthcare applications. And with the help of La Caixa Foundation and also with a team of experts, we are ready to translate science into business. So standing here tonight, I recognize how fortunate we are to receive this award. Thanks to La Caixa Foundation, we were ready to make meaningful contributions to society, which is incredibly rewarding. So to finalize, I also want to thank everyone who has supported us on this journey. So our research institutions, our collaborators, our mentors, our families, and special Fundación La Caixa. And together, we'll keep seeking knowledge and innovation, working hard to make a difference in the lives in the lives of those affected by these diseases. So thank you very much, La Caixa Foundation, for this recognition, for all this support, and to make a crucial step in our careers and our lives. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Pina, for your heartfelt words and inspiring vision for the future of health research. Well, as we conclude, I invite you all to join us for a reception outside with food and drinks, where we can continue the conversation, spark new collaborations, and celebrate the achievements we've seen tonight. Science thrives through exchange of ideas and shared purpose, and tonight it is a testament to that spirit. Thank you all for your presence and commitment to advancing health. Muito obrigado e boa noite. Muchas gracias y buenas noches.